Time stops out whenever they said that.
Well, I look away. I'll say
Let me
that.
face this way.
Well, actually, that would hold up in court.
Whenever you're
I'm going to look at that
okay.
that direction. Yeah.
Whenever you're ready.
Oh, you want to ask me questions?
What are your feelings about today?
Well, I think it's great that people can see that there's another side to this story, the truthful side. That there's a lot of allegations and a lot of anecdotes in Gasland, but then you have to look at the science. And, I think allegations and anecdotes are good, and they're very emotional and they move people. But I think now it's time to go and look at FrackNation and look at the science. The EPA says that Dimmock water is clean. That's a pretty powerful scientific body. The best scientists in America, I think, work for the EPA. The anti-fracking activists called the EPA into Dimmock, said, look at our water, it's polluted, and the EPA says, no, it's not contaminated. So the science is settled, and I think maybe the makers of Gasland should apologise to the people of Dimmock and the people of Pennsylvania for misrepresenting the situation in their state and in their area. So it's good that people can see that the other side of the story and the truthful side of the story, not the emotional, overexcited anecdotes. And sometimes they're not just anecdotes, they're fraudulent stories connected to a lawsuit, and I think people need to know that there's actual fraud involved in this as well. People are trying to make a lot of money out of suing gas companies, and I think it's good that people know that.
So, what has brought you here today? What has been your process of screening your film next to Gasland 2?
I think it's very important. I just think people need to know that there's an alternative voice. The media goes to places like Dimmock or goes to areas and they find two families who say, oh my God, my water is polluted. There are 200 families who say our water is wonderful, our water is clean, and they get no media. So I think it's important for people to know that the actual anti-fracking activists in most areas across America are in the minority. They're a discontented minority. And so it's important for people, I have people in here, 1,500 people in Dimmock, Pennsylvania signed a petition to say our water is fine. 11 families were taking a lawsuit. That's less than 1% opposed to fracking. So it's good for people to know that the majority of people who have experience of fracking in America support the process.
Now, can you give us a little background about yourself?
I'm Philip McAleer. I'm a journalist and filmmaker, and I've been making documentaries for about 8 years. I used to work for the Sunday Times, the Financial Times, the Economist magazine. I worked in Northern Ireland as a journalist covering the Troubles, and I've worked in Madagascar, Indonesia, Chile, Pennsylvania, and New York, and I don't know which of those are the most exotic. Okay.
Is there anything that you just feel that you'd like to...
Are you a journalist? No.
Yes, yeah.
Is there anything you feel you just would like to share?
Anything I'd like to share? No, I encourage everyone to see FrackNation, and really, I think journalists need to, there's a lot of anecdotes and allegations, and journalists need to realise there are anecdotes and allegations, and they need to ask, where is the science? And that's what FrackNation does, it says, where is the science? Where is the beef? And when you look for the science, it's very often not there. So I think, people need to, flaming faucets, that's another one, flaming faucets. People have been lighting their tap water in America for hundreds of years. George Washington, who I believe doesn't tell a lie, lit the Delaware River, or lit the Millstone River in New Jersey back in the 1800s because there was so much gas coming up. He wrote about it in his diary. People have been lighting tap water here for hundreds of years. There's 3 places in America called burning springs. Fracking doesn't cause flaming faucets, and it's unfair and unethical for Josh Fox to say that, for Gasland to say that. I think that's important for people to know, that there's a long history of people lighting their tap water in Pennsylvania and New York. That's what they used to do before television, and God bless them, and I suppose they're very grateful for television now.
So the footage that I'm filming right now, how would you like to see this footage be used, or where would you like to have it be shared?
stick it on the internet, stick it. I don't mean stick it wherever you want.
What do you have a relationship with Calicoon, a community?
No. I've interviewed some people from the area for the film. I feel I know Calicoon quite well now. There's a number of people from the local area who were interviewed in the film, and so I thought it was important to come back and show them their film. This is my second visit here. I've shown it before, but it's up to high school, so I'm very glad to be back.
Okay, well, thank you very
No,
much.
thank you.